Hello. Before we go into anything, I have a game I'd like us to play. Just you and me watching right now. Let's see how good you are with mobile phones and what the currently model is. So I'm going to jump to another screen. Here we are. On this screen we have A, we have B, and we have C. I want you to guess which one of these is an S22 Ultra, an S23 Ultra, and an S24 Ultra. So there's three different models. One of those is an S22, one's an S23, and one's an S24. Which one do you think is which? So is A an S22 or an S23? Is it C an S22? Could A be S24? Could B be an S23? Well, just take a moment, have a think. What do you think is the model for these phones? So the first phone, if you're ready, if you want to pause, please pause now, but I'm going to reveal the results. So the first one out of all these is B, is the S23. C is the S24. And A is the S22. Now, I don't know if you guessed that, but if you did, well done, because no way would I know how to do that. Now, let's play another game. This one's going to be slightly harder, but we're going on to iPhone now, so onto Apple. So let's have a quick look at the next one. Okay, so here we are with the other one. Now, we have, again, a range of iPhones. I want you to tell me which one is the iPhone 12 Pro, 13 Pro, 14 Pro, 15 Pro, and 16 Pro. So this could be the iPhone 12 Pro, 13 Pro, 14 Pro, 15 Pro, 16 Pro. Who knows? I've just jumbled them all up, so it's a lot harder than last time, because last time it was Samsung 23, 22, 23, 24. This time they're jumbled up. They're not in order. So take a few moments. If you need to pause the video now, and we will find out which one of these phones, A, B, C, D, or E, corresponds to which model of iPhone. Now, to me, they all look identical. Even the shade of colour pretty much looks exactly the same. And I promise you, hand on heart for a fact, these are all legitimate screenshots or copies of the actual model phone that I've put in here, made them all the same, and label them. So you ready? Shall we find out? So the first one is D, is the iPhone 15 Pro. The next one, A, is the Apple iPhone 13 Pro. B is the iPhone 16 Pro. I didn't actually realize that's taken me by surprise. And E is the iPhone 14 Pro. And C is the iPhone 12 Pro. Very, very, very hard to tell which one is which. So that's 5 years of iPhones that look exactly the same. And this is where my point is. Apple, Samsung, I've tried Apple before. I didn't mind Apple. It's a very nice streamlined bit of software. Kit's okay, but you can only do what Apple want you to do. You cannot do anything else other than what Apple want you to do. Samsung, you can do basically anything you want to do. You have that freedom. It may fall behind Apple in some areas, but I think Samsung are almost just as good, if not better in some aspects than iPhone now. So there's not really much difference between them. However, there is one thing that they both share, and something that they both seem to completely go hand in hand with, and that is they have completely stopped innovating in every single way. The fold devices from Samsung have looked the same for the last 3 years. The Samsung flagships, the Ultras, they look exactly the same and have done for 3 years. And kind of 4 years, but the camera hump was slightly different. Apple, I don't think they've ever changed. I mean, they haven't changed anything at all in 5 years. And before you start, yes, I know you got a little switchback on the side of it, and on the new 16, you got the other button. Congrats. Wow. But yes, I know. And I know with the Samsung Ultras, you've got the pen now. Yes, and you've got a 200 megapixel camera. Yes, I know. I know all these things. Don't bother putting a comment below. Just take your hand off the thing. I'm not bothered. I'm not interested. Okay? I'm not buying an iPhone. I'm not buying a Samsung. I had Samsungs. I've had iPhones. And I'll tell you what, for the last 2 years, I've had a Xiaomi phone. Brilliant phone. Just as good as the Samsung Ultra, and it was 250 quid. Sorry, the Samsung Ultra 23. And it's £250. Nothing wrong with it. It was just as good as the Samsung. And now I've got the Honor Magic V3. It's just as good as Samsung. Yeah, the base may not be as close to the Samsung. Samsung might be a little bit more bassy, but only a tiny bit. It's, to be honest, it's lighter. It feels better in my pocket. What I'm getting at here is they're stale. Samsung and Apple need to wake up. You're falling so far behind the Chinese market. There's no innovation. There's nothing new. There's no trial and effort with new designs. You're stuck on these. You haven't changed anything. You're stuck on one model and gone, well, people are going to buy it. Who else are going to buy? People are now buying other things. I'm just going to bring up some stats for you. A bit of information. So, right now, the iPhone 16 Pro Max sales are down by 16% from last year. And that's not even the worst. The iPhone 16 Pro, their sales are down 27% from last year. Now that's a big chunk. 27% on a brand of mobile phone. That is huge. Last year, the iPhone 15, they sold 37 million units in their first weekend. So as soon as it was launched in their first weekend, they sold 37 million units in a weekend, the first weekend. Samsung, in comparison, sold 20 million, had 20 million sales for the whole year for their flagship S23 Ultra, S23, or S24. So the S24, it had 20 million sales for the whole year. And this is based in America, by the way. So, I mean, that is a huge, huge difference. The Samsung Fold in general, their sales are down by 25%. The Z Fold 6 globally has sold under 300,000 models in its first 2 weeks of the launch. So it's only been out for about 2 and a bit weeks, and it's sold under 300,000. I mean, they've not even got to 500,000 sales in the Z Fold 6 globally. Not even 500,000. And yet, just as a comparison, the new Trifold from Huawei, they have just allowed pre-orders of their new Trifold screen. So it doesn't just open once like this. It opens 3 times and basically becomes a tablet. They've only just launched it, and within less than 24 hours of the pre-launch window being opened, they sold over 5 million units. And that's the pre-order. They've not sold, no one's got one yet. So clearly there is a demand for new innovative designs, new great phone designs out there, because Samsung, they've got stuck in this stupid design. It doesn't change. And if you've got an S23, there's no point upgrading to the S25. It's just a software upgrade. It's not really going to do much. It might be a little bit faster. Battery might last a little bit longer. Cameras might be a little bit better. But isn't that what we've heard every year for the last few years? Oh, check out our new flagship phone because it's got a slightly better battery. And it's like 20-30 minutes, lasts longer for about 20-30 minutes each year. So it's slightly better battery. The cameras are slightly better. and it's more expensive, and it's a bit faster now because we've got a newer processor and a newer chip, and it has more RAM. Same thing every year, same lines every year. I mean, my God, look at iPhone. It's the same photo that they use. They may as well just take one photo and just use it as their standard photo and just shade a shade on it each year, because that's all they need to do, and just release that picture. I mean, Apple, they've got cameras that get slightly better. They've only just upgraded to a main 48 megapixel main sensor. They've only done that in the last year, 2 years, and Samsung's on 200. A lot of other phones in China, Xiaomi, they've been using 200 megapixels. Some are on 180. I think there's a Fold with a 180 megapixel camera. You've got the fact that they've improved their battery again. It's slightly faster again, slightly more RAM, but they charge you a fortune for it. But what you get again, why get the new iPhone 16? Because of Apple Intelligence, which they think is really clever because it's AI. God's sake. And the AI's not, or Apple Intelligence, it's not even launching with the phone. And they haven't given an exact launch date. And the general buzz on this is that the Apple Intelligence, as they call it, will actually only come out halfway through the iPhone 16's lifespan. So you may as well not even bother upgrading to the iPhone 16 and wait for the iPhone 17, because it's going to look exactly the same. I can guarantee you now it'll look exactly the same as the last 5 models. It's going to have a slightly better battery, it's going to have slightly better cameras, it's going to have slightly more RAM, it's going to be slightly better chip, and it's going to have the AI thing. So, and they may add, or they may take away a physical button, because I like to take away a button and then bring it back about 3-4 years later. If someone goes, "Yay, we got something new!" It's not new. You've had it before on many older devices. They took it off and they just brought it back again. It's not new. They like to take things away, let you miss it for a while, then bring it back as a new feature. It's just absolutely stupid. So yeah, but the folding market, the fold market is absolutely blowing out of proportion. You've got so many fold devices. You got fold devices from Xiaomi, you got Pico, you got Google. The Google folds, they're nice. The Google Fold original one they did was a bit, it was a bit thinner than this, but it looked great. Lovely profile, lovely setup with a camera array at the back. I actually prefer the old Google Fold device compared to the new Fold Pro 9 or 9 Pro Fold. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, Samsung, Apple, wake up. You're falling so far behind. You literally look like you are years behind now. Years behind. Apple and Samsung look like they're 3 to 4 years behind the rest of the market. The market has just overtaken them, while Apple and Samsung have just got so laid back and lazy in their own little world. The rest of the world's overtaken them, waved at them, zoomed off. It's like the tortoise on the hare. Right now, Apple and Samsung are the tortoise, and the Chinese market is the hare. It's storming past these two and doing things that Samsung and iPhone can't even imagine doing right now. Apple don't even have a folding device. Now, a lot of people are saying, well, they won't bring out, they're going to make it so it's perfect and then they'll release it. By the time they release it, we'll be on to phones, foldable phones that are 3mm thick. You know, they'll make, and their iPhone will be the same equivalent as the Z Fold 6, basically. They're too late. They're miles behind. They need to get ahead of all the rest of the market. We need phones that are like 3mm thick, 200 megapixel sensors, 6,000 or more, maybe an 8,000 battery we should be looking at now. If you've got one of these devices, why can't you have a battery on both sides? Some of them do. But, you know, if we've got batteries that can fit in a profile that of a phone that's this thin, 4.35mm thick, because the battery is only 2mm thick, then surely by this point we can get a phone down to 3mm in thickness, maybe next year. Right now the Huawei X Mate, is it? Let me just double check with the name of it. So yeah, the Huawei Their Mate XT, the thickness of one when it folds out is around 3.2, I think it is. It's around 3.2 millimeters thickness. That's even thinner than this, you know, which is unbelievable. And right now, this is the world's thinnest mobile phone. And a lot of people have been saying about the Tri-Fold from Huawei that, you know, it feels like a brick because it's 12.8 millimeters thick. The Samsung Z Fold 6 is 12.2 millimeters thick. So it's only 6 millimeters, it's 0.6 millimeters thicker than the Z Fold Flip. So it's virtually the same size, and it's got the wider dimension anyway. So at the end of the day, if there's now a Tri-Fold phone out there from Huawei, Samsung, what are you doing? They have not, I mean, they still have the same cameras on the Z Fold 6 that they've had for the last 3 years. The crease hasn't really improved. It's 25, I think Samsung said it's 25% less noticeable. And it looks terrible compared to the Honor Magic V3. I was actually at the airport going on holiday, and I saw the Galaxy Z Fold 6, and it looked boxy, it looked like a brick, and it actually had the nerve and the balls to say on the promotional information, world's thinnest mobile phone. Samsung, this is 9.2 millimeters in thickness. 9.2. Isn't yours 12 point something again? It's not thinnest. It's nowhere near the thinnest. Xiaomi's Fold is thinner. I think Google's Fold is thinner. Pico's Fold is thinner. There's Vivo's Fold is thinner. Huawei's Fold is thinner. Virtually every other Fold on the market is better than what Samsung has out, and it's because they've got lazy and they've got fat on the time, and now they're so far behind, it's laughable. I can't see any sales picking up for Apple or Samsung in the near future unless they seriously break out some hardcore upgrades. We need to see major upgrades in the mobile phone devices. We need better cameras on the Fold devices. We need better, way better battery, and we need the thickness being reduced on the Folds. And in general, on the main flagship phones for Apple and Samsung, they're both so boring and dull. You know, it used to be years ago, 5 to 10 years ago, you could buy a mobile phone, you'd be out having a drink or you'd be out socially, and people go, "Oh my God, what's that phone?" And you go, "Oh, this is a Samsung Galaxy Note 10." And like, "Oh my God, that looks amazing. I've not seen one like that." Or they go, "Oh my God, what's that phone?" It's like, "Oh, it's the Sony Walkman, the Sony Ericsson, and it takes photos and it plays music." Like, "Oh my God, that's amazing." Now it's like, "What's that?" I don't know. It was iPhone 16. "Oh my God, it came out yesterday." "Yeah, I've got it already." "Oh wow, that's incredible." How would you know they're not lying? It does the same as the other ones. It looks exactly the same as the other ones. Same for the Samsung. Anyway, that's me rant. I'm sorry for a rant, but I'm done now. Again, thank you for coming to the channel. Thank you for subscribing. I really appreciate it. I hope you like little games there. Don't forget, this is a brand new channel. This has been going for just over 1 month. So if there's some content that comes up that you don't like, please stick with the channel. I'm doing lots of different things. I'm trying lots of different videos to see which ones land and which ones you guys like the most. And then once I get all the data and can compile it, that's when we'll start getting more content out that has more of the enjoyment factor for you guys. So please stick with the channel, and I will see you all in another video.